go ahead and pull up a chair. I wanted to have this chat with you because I've been seeing something lately that's frankly a bit unsettling, and I suspect you're feeling it too. If you've been sitting there hitting refresh on your inbox, wondering why that application you spent 3 hours on didn't even get a no, I want you to take a deep breath. It's not because you're unqualified. It's not because you're not enough. It's because the front door you're trying to walk through, it's been locked from the inside for months. Let's look at the reality of 2026 for a second. We've reached a point where 83% of professional resumes, 83% are filtered out by an algorithm before a human being ever even sees your name. Think about that. You're pouring your heart into a document that's being judged by a piece of code that doesn't care about your late nights or your dedication. It's just looking for a specific metadata signature, and here's the part that really hits hard. Nearly half of the jobs you're seeing posted right now, about 43% of them, are what we call ghost jobs. They aren't actually looking to hire someone today. They're just data harvesting. They're building a just-in-case pipeline. So if you feel like you're shouting into a void, you're right, you are. But the void isn't empty, it's just automated. Let that number sit for a second. If the front door is locked by algorithms and ghost postings, then we need to talk about how the people who are actually getting hired are finding their way in, because they aren't using the front door at all. Now, I want to tell you about something I saw in a recent report from IBM. It honestly changed how I think about the entire recruitment cycle. They've developed an internal sentiment, AI, that can predict when an employee is going to quit with 95% accuracy. 95%. That means before you even know you're frustrated enough to leave, your company's HR software has already flagged your seat as likely vacant. And what do they do with that information? They don't wait for you to turn in your 2 weeks. They trigger something called predictive sourcing. While you're still sitting in your morning meetings, the system is already scanning the web for your shadow successor. They're looking for someone exactly like you, or better, months before the vacancy even exists. Today, 99% of Fortune 500 companies are using some form of this AI-driven predictive sourcing. They aren't reacting to openings anymore, they're anticipating them. So, while you're reacting to a job post, the winner was likely identified 3 months ago while they were just going about their day. Here's where it gets really interesting. The truth is, while you're looking for a job, the companies are already looking at you. Or at least, they're looking at the version of you that exists in their data pools. If you aren't showing up in those predictive scans, you don't exist to them. It's a bit cold, I know, but once you understand this hidden logic, you can stop playing the reactive game and start playing the predictive one. So how do we move from applying to signaling? I want to tell you about a colleague of mine. Let's call him Mark. Mark was a senior project manager, making about $110. He was doing the usual, sending out resumes, tweaking his bullet points, and getting nothing but silence. He was exhausted. We sat down for coffee, much like this, and I told him to stop applying. Instead, we shifted his entire strategy to what I call intention signaling. He stopped calling himself a project manager and started positioning himself as an AI workflow orchestrator. He didn't get a new degree. He just started documenting how he was using autonomous AI agents to handle 40% of his team's manual work. He started signaling to the algorithms that he was a solution provider, not just a task manager. Within 6 weeks, he wasn't applying for jobs. He was being predictively sourced. He landed a role at 180 carriers, same person, same years of experience, but a completely different digital metadata footprint. Now, this is the part that changes everything. Mark didn't just get lucky. He understood that in 2026, your digital footprint is the real audition. We're seeing this everywhere. Fractional chief revenue officers are seeing a 35% increase in contract win rates simply by using AI-driven forecasting to prove their ROI before they even sign a contract. They aren't selling their time anymore, they're signaling their results. When you stop asking for permission to work and start signaling that you're already solving the problems they haven't even posted yet, the dynamic shifts. You aren't a beggar at the door. You're the solution they've been predictively searching for. I've been in this industry for 15 years. I've seen the tenure is king era, and I've seen the loyalty pays era. But honestly, those eras are over. We've entered what I call the experience paradox. It used to be that 15 years of traditional experience was the ultimate shield against layoffs. Not anymore. Today, we're seeing newcomers with 3 years of deep AI orchestration experience out-earning veterans with 2 decades of traditional management. There is currently a 56% wage premium for workers who have verified AI integration skills. Let that sink in for a second. 56%. If you're a senior architect, you might be looking at a certain salary ceiling. But if you rebrand as a senior AI orchestrator, someone who knows how to bridge the gap between human strategy and LLM execution, there's an immediate 18.7% salary premium on top of that. The market doesn't care about how long you've sat in a chair anymore. It cares about how much leverage you bring to that chair. Loyalty to a company is a beautiful thing, but in 2026, your only real stability is found in your perpetual marketability. You need to be the person that the algorithm flags as a top 1% recruit, whether you're looking for a job or not. All right, so let's talk about how you become that person. If you were sitting across from me right now, I'd tell you that you don't need a new degree. You just need to change your digital metadata so the $300 algorithm starts working for you instead of against you. Here's the 3-step blueprint I want you to start on by next Monday. First, pivot your LinkedIn. Stop listing your responsibilities. Start listing your AI-augmented outcomes. 75% of hiring managers today prioritize technical proof of ROI over a university degree. If your headline doesn't scream "I save time and money using AI," the predictive scanners are going to skip right over you. Second, build a public proof of ROI portfolio. It doesn't have to be fancy, just a simple site or even a structured LinkedIn post series that shows, here was the problem, here's the AI workflow I built, and here's the 30% efficiency gain. You're giving the algorithm something to index. Third, and this is the insider move, document your workflows publicly. When you show how you solve problems, you trigger predictive recruitment. Why? Because the cost of replacing a high-level employee is 1.5 to 2 times their annual salary. Companies are terrified of that retention gap. When they see you effectively solving problems in public, you become the shadow successor they're willing to pay a premium for, just to avoid the risk of a bad hire. This isn't about working harder. It's about being visible to the systems that make the decisions. The algorithm has already picked its winners for next month. It's looking for people who can bridge the gap between the old way of working and the new AI reality. I know it's a lot to take in, but you've got this. The rules changed, that's all. Now that you know the rules, you can win the game. I'll see you out there.